Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, October 2nd, 2020. We are in the final day of the trading week, and we are in the final hour of the trading day. My favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions. I say this because at the end of the day, large financial institutions come in, they're dealing with the most money, they have very smart people. They have the best information, best technology, and they start making their bets at the end of the day. And because they're dealing with such large size, they are taking the control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms who control it during the middle of the day. So thank you all for coming. It's always nice to see everyone. I really appreciate you being here. I think we have such a great group, and I'm really grateful for that. We are having a crazy day. Boy, how things can change, huh? Yesterday was nice and green, and today is big and red. The Dow Jones is down 62 points now, well off of its lows. It was down about 500 points, at least when I looked at the futures this morning. So big comeback there. The big loser on the day is the NASDAQ, down 217 points, down 1.92%. And the S&P is down 22 points, down 0.66%. Of course, there was the news about the president last night, and that has made things pretty crazy during today. So here is the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have some day trades today. I'll be sharing those with you. Then we're going to go through the board, and we're going to take a look at everyone's positions and see how those are doing. I see some green on there, so it's not all red. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about trader psychology. Most important part of trading, best skill you can learn, most important skill you can learn is patience. You need to develop a plan and then follow it. But following it is easier said than done. So I do like to spend a little bit of time on trader psychology every day, and hopefully that will sink in, and it's good for me to talk about it. I think it's good for you to hear it. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I've gone down through Kamal's scanner, and I'm going to take a look and see what the results are. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a trade. First, confluence or combination of signals lining up on multiple time frames. Secondly, have to have a good risk to reward ratio. You can have a really good setup, a lot of confluences of signals, but the risk to reward may not make sense if it's run too far. It's a little bit chasey. So you always have to take a look at strong support below and strong valid resistance support below, strong valid support below and strong likely resistance above. And then number 3, always want to make sure we spend a little bit of time before we take a trade, make sure we really want to take it, make sure that our position sizes are not too large, we position size correctly, and or make sure we do not have too many correlated positions, because on a day like today it can really hurt you. All right, so I'll go down through the watch list. I'll narrow them down. I'll try to pick the very best setup that best fits the 3 requirements that I have. And then if I find something at the end of the day, I will go ahead and place the trade right before the close of the market. After the market closes, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. If you have any stock symbols that you'd like me to look at during the day and you'd like my opinion before the market closes, please put them in the chat, put an asterisk by it so I know it's time sensitive. And then lastly, if you have any new entries or exits today, if you could please wait till the end of the day. That way, market's closed, I'm done trading and teaching, pressure's off, and then I'll be able to get all of your new additions or subtractions updated on the board. All right, so that's the plan, that's the format. If you could hang tight, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here, and here. Thank you so much. All right. Wow. What a day. Let's see who's here. Steve Burns is here. Hello, Steve. Good to see you, my friend. Always an honor and a privilege to have Steve Burns here. If you've not read Steve books, please go to Amazon, look up Steve Burns, read all of his books. I have gained so much knowledge through the years reading Steve's books and studying with Steve. And he also has a great website, newtraderu.com. He has good e-courses that you can take on trading. Just good information, good content. And again, that's newtraderu.com. But thank you, Steve. It's always an honor to have you here. Appreciate it. Johan is here. Hey, Johan, good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good evening there in Hong Kong. Dan is here. This has been some day. I'll tell you what, this has been a crazy day. I have a bit of a headache from watching this all today. Steve said this has been a wild week. Yes, it has. It's been a whipsaw-y type of week. But that's trading, right? It doesn't always go up in a straight line. You know, a lot of traders that maybe got involved in February or March, they think this is all it does is go up. But this is a real market right here with what's happening. Evan says, good afternoon. Hi, Evan. Good to see you. Kamal says, hey, Greg and gang. Hey, buddy. Good chatting with you today. Thanks for the results of your scanner. Brian says, hey, everyone. I feel like I have been watching tennis all day with stocks going up and down and up and down again. I know. They've been all over the place. You know, if we go back a month, everything just went up, up, up. You barely got one or two down bars and right back up. And so there's a battle going on right now between the buyers and the sellers. And that's why we're having this volatility. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day, my friend. If Paxton's near you, please give him my best. Dan says, Steve, please write Rich Trader, Government Trader. I will show you, no cost, our challenges and what we have to work with. I will be first to buy. Oh, interesting. There you go. There's an idea, Steve. David is here. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Hope the shoulder's doing well. Frank's here. Hey, Frank. Good to see you, bud. Steve says the Dow futures were down 600 points overnight at the lows. Wow. I saw 500 and something, but yeah, crazy. But I mean, quite a comeback. Quite a comeback. I mean, we're only down 44 points at the moment. Okay. Frank has a poem. Let's check it out. Buy the rumor, sell the news is a classic point of view, but a knockout punch from the press moves with speed you can't address. So stick with process and your charts because stocks and news are never far apart. So true. So true. One more time. Buy the rumor, sell the news is a classic point of view, but a knockout punch from the press moves with speed you can't address. So stick with process and your charts because stocks and news are never far apart. Boy, it's so true. I'll tell you what, you know, the media has such a huge effect on the psychology of people and so many different things, and especially the markets. Steve says, what do you mean, Dan? All right, should we do this as ugly as it's going to be? All right, let's get to it. AMD, Frank, yeah, Steve, Brian, and myself did buy AMD back here at 81.71 on the 29th of September. Next day it went up a little bit. We had a great day up yesterday. Now we've made a lower high and a lower low right about break even. My feeling on this, it didn't get up to 1.5 ATRs from my entry. However, I just don't like that we gapped down, we rallied back up, we lost it back all again, right about break even. And you know, with the news and what could come this weekend and so forth, my gut feeling here, and then really it's all it is a gut feeling. It doesn't mean it's right. But my gut feeling is here, I'm probably just going to take this off and wait for things to clear a little bit. I mean, having a lower high and a lower low, rejecting the negative, rejecting the 1 ATR. It's holding the 50 RSI. It's holding the 5 day moving average. Again, this is why I like to take profits when I get them. I did hit some profit targets yesterday, and this is just a good example of why I like to do this. If I take profits and it keeps going up, well, I'm still happy that I have some. But if I take profits like I did yesterday and then it comes back down today, I'm not happy that it went down, but I'm really glad that I took profits. So my inclination here today is that I am going to just get rid of AMD, call it a profitable trade. It's still above my entry point, but I did take profits up here. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards here today, unless we have some amazing rally towards the end of the day. Chewy, well, Quad, I think is only Quad. Oh, Johan, Yas, and Quad and myself did buy Chewy yesterday. Bought it at 58.92. I like this sideways motion. I like the fractal. But of course, we got newsed, right? We got newsed overnight. I don't think anybody expected that, and that had a big effect. I think what I'm doing on Chewy, we're at a 49.80 RSI. If we can close above the 50 RSI, I will keep it for one more day. But if we do close below the 50 RSI, then that means we will have lost quite a few of these averages. They're on the upside of us now. The price is below it. I'll just have to wait and see, but I think I may just have to take my lumps on this. I just don't like, how the market's reacted, especially the NASDAQ, and it is down 4.68% today. So that's not good. Etsy, let's take a look. I think I'm the only one in Etsy. I did buy Etsy back here on the 28th of September at 123.72. With the 520 crossover, moved sideways, had a nice big day yesterday. We are right to my 1.5 ATR level. I will keep this one. It made a higher high and did not make a lower low. And the worst I can do on this trade is break even because it's moved 1.5 ATRs to my entry. So if it does, I will just put a stop here at 127.32, my entry point, and most likely the worst I'll do on this is break even. I mean, it's still nicely profitable on the trade, but it did make a higher high and it made a higher low. So that is good. It's much stronger. It's only down 0.44% today, so the relative strength. So almost certainly I will keep Etsy. Qs. All right, Steve, Yas, Johan, and I bought the Qs with the 520 crossover at 278.68 back on the 30th of September. Initially went up nicely for me. I bought it with the 520 crossover. What I'm watching today, here's the 5, here's the 20. If the price closes below both the 5 and the 20, I will take half of a position. So the 20 right now is 275.16. So if we close, and it will change a little bit, but if it closes under 275.16, my procedure tells me to go ahead and sell half of the position. Then if the 5 crosses under the 20, I will sell the second half. But that's how I handle crossovers here. So right now it's lost even the 275 handle. So very likely I will be getting out of half of the Qs here. SPY. Oh, do I have to do it? I don't want to. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk, and the overnight risk got me today for sure. But the reason I do this is based upon a long-term back-tested study from Lizanne Saunders at Bespoke Invest since 1993. Two different approaches here. Buy SPY at the open, hold it through the day, sell at the close. If you use this approach every day since 1993, minus 13.9% return. However, if you do the opposite approach, which is buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell the first thing the next morning, this gained a positive 634.2. So a positive 634.2 compared to a negative 13.9. Big difference. And when you buy and sell this, past performance is no guarantee of future results. But if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be something that has good back-tested results. Blue line, buy the close, sell the next morning. Orange line, buy the morning, sell the same day close. Big difference. It's like riding a bucking bronco, though. Over time, all this has done is gone up. However, there are significant drawdowns. In the beginning of this year, I went through the mother of all drawdowns, of course, with when the market cracked at the beginning of the year. Had a really nice comeback. I think I got a little cocky. I was telling somebody yesterday, we were talking about, I was like, I'm getting pretty close to being even for the year. But that being said, I got whooped up on because I bought yesterday at 337.04. And I sold this morning right near the low at 331.71. So 37, so 5 and change overnight. But that's how it goes. I've had some good ones to the upside. Today was a bad one to the downside. But as usual, I will go ahead and buy this at the close today. Hold it overnight. Hold it over this weekend. See what happens. Could be scary, but that's the plan. I need to stick with my plan. Apple, one of the nice things about selling puts way out of the money is you're not too concerned about the fluctuations on a day-to-day basis if they don't move much. I did sell Apple puts down to 77.50, meaning that if Apple closes above 77.50 by November 20th, I will be able to keep all the premium. The reason I picked the 77.50 mark is because of the 200 and the 250 above as support on the daily. On the weekly, we're down right near the third ATR channel, have the 50-week moving average above, and on the monthly, I have the 1 ATR channel, and I have the 20-month EMA and the support of the previous high over here. So I'm well in the money on this trade. Today doesn't help, but it doesn't hurt that much because they're so far out of the money that the delta is pretty low. So anyway, still nicely up on those, thankfully. Amazon, very similar. Very, very similar to Apple. I sold puts on Amazon down to 2,300. So that is about 830 points away. As long as Amazon can hold above 2,300 by November 20th, I'll keep all the premium for selling the puts. Again, 200, 250 above it as support. On the weekly, right at the negative third ATR channel there, and the 50-week moving average above. And on the monthly, similar with Apple, have the 1 ATR channel and the 20-month moving average. But that one's still nicely in the money as well. Okay, couple day trades real quick. This one was a loser. I bought this V1 here, false breakout from over here. Initially went my way and then just cracked down. My stop was a close below halfway of the washout bar. So I got in at 140.69, out at 140.40. So 140.69, out at 140.40. So 50 or 29 cents, not too bad. Also, I do have a swing position in Walmart. Johan, Brian, and Gary, we bought Walmart again on the 30th September at 140.69. Had a great, beautiful move up yesterday. Did hit profit targets again. That's why I like to phase out and take something when the market's giving it to me. That's the key. Today, I think I'm going to hold this. We have made a lower high, but currently we have not made a lower low like we did on AMD. So very likely I will keep this. And then lastly, Philip Morris. I had a couple good trades on Philip Morris here. Thankfully, put a little green on the board. First trade was here. We made a higher low V1. We took out this fractal here. We had a 520 cross. We went under 50, over 50. I bought here at 74.02. When it rejected the 200-day moving average up here, I sold half at 74.43. And then here we had a close below the previous day's low, so I got out of the rest. So I got in 74.02, got out half at 74.35. And got out a half at 74.43. So that was a nice trade. And then I took another trade here. We had a pullback to the value zone. Then we had this V1. V1, we closed back above the 100-day moving average. I got in at 74.08. Oh, that was where I exited there. I got in at 74.08 and I got out right about 74.42. So that was a big move. You know, I made a mistake here. I should have only sold half, but after taking the loss on Walmart, I was like, oh, that was a nice gain that made it back plus more. I'm just going to take it. And look what happened. It kept going without me. Had I stuck with the plan, I would have gotten out here with the close below the previous day's low. So it did cost me a little bit, but still it was a good trade. Okay. Steve says, amazingly, the VIX was rejected at the 200-day SMA today at the market's lows. Yeah, it's had a tough time with that 200 SMA, hasn't it, Steve? Dan says, Steve, I've worked for over 20 years for our federal government. Our 401k type plan is called the TSP. You could write a great book giving guidance on investments in the plan. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess Steve would have to understand what the rules are, when you can get in, when you can get out, so forth and so on. Kamal says, Steve Burns, are you taking the GS crossover today if it happens? Frank says, I worry more about double cross setups, LOL. Good one, Frank. Steve says, yes, but 520 cross on GS is going to be a photo finish. Yep, that's one I'm looking at as well. Steve says, that is a good name for this week, Frank, the double cross. Gary says, hello, Greg and Group. Hey, Gary, good to see you, buddy. Steve says, nice bounce back in financials and small cap. Steve says, Dan, my investing habit book is a good one for big picture IRA, 401, 403B. Investing in TSPs dramatically different, ? And Steve says, more advances than declines on the New York Stock Exchange. That's odd. Yeah, let's see, how we doing? NASDAQ is down, or the Dow's down 40. NASDAQ's still down 214. So yeah. The money seems to be going out of the NASDAQ a lot more than it's going out of the Dow. Oh, and Steve, by the way, thank you so much, sir, for including me on your Twitter list today. Always appreciate that. Okay, well, the good news is Frank, Yas, Kamal, David, Johan, and Quad bought Cody yesterday. The one that I didn't buy, and I explained why, because it was a low price stock. But Cody is laughing at me, and I'm glad because it's up for Frank, Yas, Kamal, David, Johan, and Quad. It is up 1.05% today, which is quite amazing on a day like today. So huge relative strength. Really glad for all of you that it is up today. Intel, Gary has sold puts on Intel down here to $45, meaning that if it closes above $45 by November 20th, he would be able to keep all the profit on the day from selling these options. Is down today, but he's got a lot of protection to the downside. Google. All right. David, Steve, and Gary bought Google, although Gary sold puts down to 1,200, meaning that if Google stays above 1,200 by November 20th, he'll be able to keep the premium. David and Steve bought at 1421.86 with the bounce off the 200-day and the bounce near the 30 RSI. It's been up, been down. We had a nice big rally up. It is down 1.78% today, but still positive on the trade, but down on the day. DDM, it's had a huge comeback, thankfully for Steve. Steve bought DDM with the 1050 crossover, bought it here at 45.88 with the 1050 EMA crossover. Moved up nicely, actually went below entry price today, but rallied strongly. It's only down 15%. So it is down a little bit on the day, but still up on the trade. PayPal. Brian bought PayPal at 183.40. It is now 192.36. It is down 2.38% today. It is down on the day, but he is still up on the trade. So congratulations, Brian. MA, Steve bought MA with the 1030 EMA crossover. When the 10 crosses over the 30, the 10 is still above the 30. Let's go back to, let's see. Steve bought it at 338.64. It is still positive. It's 340.16. So still positive on the trade, down on the day, but still positive on the trade. LVGO, Frank bought LVGO back here 132.50. Next day sold half at a small profit, kept the other half, and it is up today. Fantastic. Way to go. That's a big deal to have anything up today. IBB, where did I put that? Okay, Steve bought IBB with a 530 EMA cross at 134.44. Has moved up nicely, but like a lot of things today, it is down 1.7%, and it looks like slightly down on the trade. CRM, Brian bought CRM at 251.20. It is now 248.65. It is down on the day and down on the trade. Shopify, Kamal bought Shopify at 960. It is down 2.22% today, but Kamal is still up nicely on the trade. So that's good. SSRM, Kamal bought SSRM at 1856. Currently is down 2.49%. It is at 1840. So it is down on the day and down on the trade. QLD, Steve bought, oh, that's not right. There we go. Steve bought QLD at 90.49 with the 1050 EMA crossover. He bought it at 94.99, 94.49. Moved up strongly, but today this is down 4.84%. So it is down on the day and down on the trade. GDXJ, Yas bought GDXJ back at 58.35. Originally up nicely, then we had the big drawdown, had a bit of a rally, but it is down 1.37% today, and it is down on the trade. Netflix, Brian bought Netflix at $500.40. It is now $504.85, so it is down 4.32% today. Big day down, but still slightly up on the trade, which is a positive. Caterpillar, Brian bought Caterpillar at 149 even, moved down, but look at this big reversal on Caterpillar today. My gosh, bullish engulfing, V1, false breakout, all sorts of stuff here, but that's a big comeback. And so Brian is up on the day and up on the trade. And last but not least is Alibaba. Johan bought Alibaba at 276.70, had a big monster day up, down a little bit yesterday, is slightly down today, but relative strength is good, and so down a bit on the day, but nicely up on the trade. Steve says, I am getting out of all my tech sectors today as this nasty drop breaking the upswing. Steve says, I will read Investing Habits. Okay. Kamal says, all these airlines have a setup today. Oh, interesting. Dan says, Steve, I bet a super basic book could help a lot of people. Quad says, good afternoon, Greg Group. Happy Friday. Hey, Quad, good to see you, bud. How we doing? So we're at 1:30. Let me take a quick check. All right, so I will be getting out of AMD today. Right at about, well, it will be a profit, again, because I took profits up here yesterday, and it's right at my original entry point. So I will be getting out of AMD. I will hold Chewy if it holds above the 50 RSI. That's my plan. Etsy went positive on the day. Well, hey, that's good. Qs, I will be getting out of Qs today. Half of the position if we close below the 20-day moving average. 20-day moving average is 275.20. We are now 275.47. So, as is right now, of course, it could change at the end of the day. I will keep the Qs. SPY got crunched on the overnight SPY trade, that's for sure, but I will be buying that again today. And last but not least, Walmart. If Walmart closes below yesterday's low, then I'll have a lower high and a lower low and I'll get out of it. If not, I will hold it. So that's the plan. All right. So listen, before we get on and take a look at possible setups today, I just want to quickly do a little trader psychology section. There's really great Facebook, Twitter channels out there, and one of the best ones, my very favorite one, is Stephen Burns, who's in the chat with us right now. This is Steve over on his over on the New Traders Rich Traders group on Facebook. If you don't belong to that group, apply. You have to apply to it, but it's a really good channel and a thread. Some serious traders, good information. Let's see what Steve has to say. Run your trading like a business, not a trip to a casino to gamble. Okay, sounds pretty simple, right? But there's two types of traders. There's two. The first type basically gambles, right? They do it for the thrill, they do it for the excitement. Well, okay, there's thrill and excitement in it, but if trading is your business, if you're trading for a living, you better treat it like a business and do without all the excitement and just stick to your trade setups. Gambling is a casino's business. You don't see them doing wild things. They have a protocol, they follow, there's table limits. You can't bet more than a certain amount. They have all these rules in place because they know if they follow those rules in the long run, they will make money. Well, you can be the casino in the market. You really can. You just have to get out quickly when you're wrong, and you have to have a plan to the upside and let your profits grow to the upside. So, there is a big difference. And listen, you might go, even if you're trading perfectly like a casino, doesn't mean you're going to win all the time. Casinos lose also. I used to live in Las Vegas. Casinos lose certain parts of the week or certain parts of the month. But if they lose 10 blackjack hands in a row, they don't throw their hands up and go, oh man, we're done. We can't take this heat anymore, because they know that they have an edge, and they know over time that they'll be able to make money back even if they go into drawdowns. I guarantee you casinos go into drawdowns also. So you can be a casino or you can be a gambler. I'd rather be the casino making the money than the gambler just throwing their money away. So, remember that. Get some rules, follow your rules. Remind yourself that you're the casino and you have to follow your rules because you are a business and the people gambling are doing it for fun. And then this is a twofer. This is Steve's profile picture over on Twitter, and I really like it. I don't know if you can read this, but there are two kinds of traders. Those who are humble, those who are going to be humbled by Stephen Burns. And I guarantee you, no matter how good you are, there will be a time where you are going to be humbled because of your actions in the market. It is a foregone conclusion. So that's why always position size correctly, be selective with your trades, follow your rules, and be humble. Don't get cocky. I'll tell you what, the people that I meet in trading that are cockiest, I always worry about the most. People that are humble, I don't worry about it because I know they're following their rules. They're not humble. If they make a big trade, they don't think they're the best trader in the world. If they may have a losing trade, they don't think they're the worst losing trader in the world. But anyway, I just wanted to add this one on. There are two kinds of traders, those who are humble and those who are going to be humbled. By Steve Burns. Let's see. I tweet about trading, financial markets, and financial freedom. I also share what I find inspiring and motivating. I am a trader and the founder of NewTraderU.com. There you go, NewTraderU.com. So thanks for that, Steve, and thanks for everything that you do, all the content that you provide us that makes us better investors and traders. Okay. Evan says, WM. pretty good. It's pretty good, Evan. It's really good. We closed below the value zone. We rallied into the value zone. Now we have a higher low V1 and a bullish engulfing bar and a 520 crossover, and we're up on the day. We went, looks like under 50, over 50. I like that. Let's look over here at Wasteman on the weekly. Weekly, it rejected the 1 ATR channel, the 10-week moving average, and the 5-week moving average. It's pretty good. It's pretty dang good. You know, if I were to take this trade, I would get out here today. We washed out the previous low. I would get out with a close below halfway of this washout bar. So it gives a good risk to reward. Excuse me. Yeah, I like Waste Management. Well, I have a lot of the list already, Kamal. So let me go through that. And then if there's ones that I haven't gotten, then you can let me know. Delta Airlines, very similar to what I just talked about on WM. Bullish engulfing bar, 520 crossover, V1, close back over the 50 RSI. Yeah, I like it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that one down. I like that one a lot. AXP. I don't like that one as much. It is a higher low V1, but see how we've already rejected the 200-day moving average? So it's already told us it didn't like the price above there. Frank says, my father once told me there was a statue of a gambler in his town that was dressed in rags with the caption, I won every time. Or I'd have friends come visit me in Las Vegas. They'd go out and gamble. I'd say, how you doing? About break even. About break even. Everybody says that. Everybody says that. Okay, let's take a look here. Goldman Sachs. Frank, please close your ears. We are talking about the unspeakable. Goldman is up today, which is pretty impressive. Based upon this market, we have a V1, we have a 520 crossover, 198.60 compared to 198.52. So that is a potential for me. That is a potential for me. It is a, oops. It is a valid signal, but I don't know at the end of the day whether or not it's going to confirm the crossover, but we'll see. CVX is Chevron. Well, we have a false breakout to the downside. We have an under 30, over 30. We have an under the negative third, over the negative third, and a V1. It's pretty good. Another thing I might add, here we have a low. See how low the RSI was? Here we have a lower low, and the RSI is way up here. This is an RSI divergence. Also, the low here, we were at like 2 3/8 -2 ATR channel. Here we're much lower, and we're only at a just like 3 1/4 ATR. So that's an ATR channel divergence. So we have an ATR channel divergence. We have a V1. I'm sorry. We have a RSI divergence. We have a V1. We have a false breakout to the downside. We have an under 30, over 30. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Looks like there may be some interest back in energy today after a day like day. There might be some rotation. So I do like those two. JP Morgan Chase. It's a higher low V1. It's still holding the 50 RSI. I'm probably going to take Goldman Sachs over JP Morgan if it has the crossover, but I'll keep this one here in case Goldman Sachs doesn't have the crossover. Home. This looks pretty strong as well. Higher low V1, under 50, over 50, under the 50-day moving average, over the 50-day moving average, and it triggered this fractal here. Here's a high with 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. That one's pretty good. Weekly, it's forming a V2 on the weekly, so that's good too. Delta Airlines, we talked about that. That is pretty dang strong. I do quite like it. MCK, False breakout to the downside, close back above the 200-day. I don't know how this back tests over the 200-day, but I don't like it as much as some of the others. EXPE, false breakout to the downside, working on a V1. But I still like the others better. JO, which is coffee. I don't think this went under 30, over 30, so no. 3M, no. We've rejected that 50-day moving average, and I think there's much better than that. RHI, well, that's really good, but I mean, MACD crossover, bullish engulfing, but it's chasey. It's chasey to me. That's what I was talking about. There's a lot of confluences here, but it seems chasey. So I'm going to let that one go also. AMG, higher low V1. Currently a rejection of the 1 ATR channel on the 50-day moving average. So, I mean, that is strong. On the weekly, we have a nice V2 there also. It's pretty good, but I'm probably going to stay with the big stocks today. IBKR, higher low V1, lots of higher low V1s today. MACD is positive. We have closed over the 50 RSI. We have triggered a fractal. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly, we had this big bar down here, and that's right where we've got stuck, is halfway. We've moved down and we've got stuck right there. So just by that alone, I'm going to let that one go. CLB, Core Laboratories. This one's also good. Under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third with a V1. It's okay on the weekly. It's $15 stock. That could be a good one, but again, I'm going to stick with the big ones. U-Haul. Wow, look at U-Haul today. Up 1.65%. False breakout to the downside. V1, under 50, over 50. RSI, under the 50-day moving average, over the 50-day moving average. Only 10,800 shares, so no way. MTZ, Mass Tech. These are all kind of interesting, but Oceaneering International, OII, we see this one a lot. This one's pretty good. False breakout to the downside. V1, under 30, over 30. MACD went positive. That makes for a decent setup. All right, Kamal wants to look at FAS. Yep. Nice higher low V1, MACD crossing, and a lot of volume. It's pretty good. This is 3 times leverage, by the way. Just word to the wise. So if you're buying 100 shares of it, it's really like you're buying 300 shares because it goes 3 times. That's why it's up so much. So weekly, no crossovers. I think when it comes to the financials, I'm going to stick with Goldman Sachs if it crosses over. If not, I probably won't take it, or maybe JP Morgan. And CMG, yeah, it's good also. Higher low V1 is holding the 50 RSI. Held the 1 ATR, the 10, and the 5 on the weekly. Steve is long Goldman Sachs. Cover your ears, Frank, at 213 cents with the 520 EMA crossover. All right. So I too am interested in Goldman Sachs, but I'm going to wait to see at the end of the day whether that baby will close over or not. Let me take a look at my current positions again. So advanced micro devices, I am going to get out of advanced micro devices. Call it a profitable trade. It is a profitable trade, but again, it's made a lower high and a lower low. I already have exposure with the Qs. Chewy, I will hold Chewy, being that it's rejected these moving averages and it rejected the 50 RSI. Etsy is positive today, so I can't complain about that, so I'm definitely keeping that. Qs, I'm going to have to watch for a close under the 20 EMA, 275.19. Right now it is 275.35, so it's just right on the bubble. I'll have to watch that one at the end of the day. And then Walmart, I will hold Walmart if it closes above yesterday's close. Right now we have a lower high, but we don't have a lower low. So almost certainly AMD is going to be out of there. Chewy, very likely I'm holding. Qs, I'm going to have to watch that. Okay, here is Goldman again. Right now it's 198.48 compared to 198.48. By the way, if the moving averages line up the same number, that is considered a crossover. Okay, just so you know. It doesn't have to be 198.49 compared to 198.48. ETF replay bases them upon them being both. If it was under and then it closes even, that is considered a crossover. So I'm going to be watching this one. I do kind of like Chevron. I would like maybe to get a little bit in the energy space here. Good risk to reward, lots of signals, false breakout to the downside, V1, under the negative third, over the negative third. I don't like that it rejected the 5-day EMA. But does give a good risk to reward ratio, and it is positive today, which shows relative strength. JP Morgan. Let me see. Goldman Sachs, MACD is positive also. JP Morgan is decent. It's decent as well with the higher low V1 for sure. So I'll have to put the two financials there together. Home, I think I'm going to just take that one off. It is decent, but I have to narrow these down. DAL, which is Delta Airlines, under 50, over 50 on the weekly. We're back over the moving averages. We've taken out the high of this gap down here. We took out the high of the gap down. A lot of volume. I do kind of like that. And OII looks pretty good as well, but I think I'm going to stick with the bigs. It's 198.49 compared to 198.49. So that one's going to be real close. I'll have to watch that. I don't particularly like the 50-day moving average right there above me, though, and the 200. Okay, let me see. So JP Morgan is up 1%. Goldman Sachs is up 0.5%. Now the 5 is under the 20. Now the 5 is under the 20, so that may take care of that. I do like Chevron. I have 10 minutes to go, so I'm going to try to wait till the end. And Delta Airlines, well, it is coming down. does have the 520 cross, does have a fractal, big bullish engulfing bar, and lots of volume. I'll tell you what, if I have to say I like any of them the best, I think I like Delta the best. And now it looks like Goldman Sachs is untriggering. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of AMD. Qs look like they're going to close under the 20. So I will sell half. Okay, but I'm going to have to watch that one. And that's 275.14. And over here, that's going to be sorry, I haven't been able to look at the chat that much, but I have a lot to do here. Walmart looks okay. Qs I'm having to watch. Etsy's fine. Chewy's fine. I already sold AMD. Delta Airlines is coming back down, so it automatically gives a better risk to reward ratio. Chevron, I do like, I gotta say, I like Chevron. And now Goldman Sachs back up. Well, I can't take 3 of them, I know that for sure. All right, let me narrow that down there. Shoot, I think I'm gonna have to let the oils go. It did reject the 5-day moving average. There's no double bottoms with bullish divergences. I like this setup. I'm torn on it, but Goldman Sachs is now back under. So if Goldman Sachs crosses over, I'll take Goldman Sachs and Delta Airlines. If Goldman Sachs does not cross back over, I'll take Chevron and I'll take Delta Airlines. Kamal says, I might buy CMG and CVX, already bought fast. Okay, good, good, good. Well, I'm glad I waited to the end. That's all I can say, because no matter what I buy, I'm getting a better price on it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sell half of my Qs here, because that looks like it's closing under. Selling half of my Qs here. Okay. Goldman Sachs is still under. Now it's over. All right. Because of time, I'm going to go ahead and buy Delta Airlines because that does look pretty good. I think it's going to hold. Okay. Oh, that's not right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I am in Delta. Goldman Sachs is right there. It is above now. And I have to make my decision here. It is above. It is above. We have about 1 minute. I'm going to wait right till the end on this one. One minute to go. Looks like it's holding. Okay, done and done. Well, that is the day, everyone. Holy smokes. Dow down 133. Dow, the NASDAQ down 251. The S&P down 32.31. So, all right. Let me just take a look where I got everything. All right. SPY. Three, 33384. Goldman Sachs at 199.94 and Delta Airlines at 3181. Okay. So SPY $33384. Delta Airlines at 3181. Goldman Sachs at 199.94. Okay, there we go. So those are mine. AMD, I am out of AMD with the close with the lower high and the close below the previous day's low. I'm out of AMD. Chewy, I did keep Chewy. Etsy, I did keep Etsy. The Qs, I sold half of my position because I took the 520 crossover, but it closed below both the 5 and the 20, which are the moving averages that I used. And so I sold half. If the 5 then crosses under the 20, I will sell the other half. SPY, of course, bought the overnight SPY trade. Apple and Amazon are just the puts. And Walmart I kept because it made a lower high, but it did not make a lower low. Okay, so there's that. So if I'm sure you have some new entries and exits, if you could put them in the chat, this would be the best time to do it, and I'll get them all taken care of. Just real quick before that, just want to put in my quick little daily announcement and remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a course, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so it's a total of 15 hours. It's a really great course. I've been trading for 24 years. Over 24 years, I have studied one-on-one with some really great traders and coaches like Steve Burns, who's in the chat with us right now, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. In the course that I teach, I incorporate everything I've learned from these 4 gentlemen, and I teach it in the class. I think the best way to learn is one-on-one. I really do. That way you have your teacher there. You can ask them questions, but I will help you develop a trading plan. I'll teach you all the setups that I use as combination, confluence of indicators, looking at multiple time frames. And you'll be a better trader when you're done with the class. I promise you, you will. So, one of the main things, there's just a lot of repetition. I'm very patient. And for 3 hours, this is what we do. I teach, and I have you teach it back to me. We go through example after example after example ad nauseum. Seriously, but that's really the way to ingrain it into your brain. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me. My email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do reach out to me, I'll reply and say, hey, how's it going? Let's do a Skype call so we can see each other face to face. It's not a sales call. I promise you, there's no selling going on. I will never even ask you if you want to take the course. I just want to get to know a little bit more about you and your trading and your challenges and your goals. And then you can ask me questions about the course, and then when we're done, I'll just say, great talking to you. Think it over. If you decide that you want to take the course in the future, just email me. And then secondly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could just take a half a second and hit the thumbs up button. Helps keep the channel around, helps build the channel. A lot of people out there could use some help with some good trading principles, and I think if they got here to this channel, that they would learn that. At least I try to do my best every day. So, all right, let's take a look here. Oh boy, there are going to be a lot of them. Okay, let's start with, okay, so Steve Burns is also in with me, or I'm in with him, however you want to look at it, but we're looking at the same thing. Kamal says, I'm buying fast. Okay, let me see. I have to make some room first before I can put new ones on there. SSRM. Okay, Kamal. So I got you out of SSRM. Also out of Apple. Loss of the 50-day. You are in FAS, which is the financials. Okay. Oh, you're in CVX. All righty. Yeah, I struggled on that one, but I hope that one goes up for you. Not struggled, like it's a good setup. There's no doubt about it. It's just that I had those other two. We'll see. You never know, right? But I certainly hope that goes up for you, Kamal. And it was positive on a red day, so that is a good sign. You let CMG go. Okay, you don't. Okay, yeah, that was one you were considering, right? Yeah. Steve says I exited AMD. All right. So Steve's out of AMD. QQQ. Steve's out of QQQ. QLD. Okay. And IBB also. Yeah, tough day. Tough day. But, you know, that's some pretty big news. That's some pretty big news, so. And entered Goldman Sachs. Yeah, I think I've got that one right. Yeah, I've got Steve there. Evan says he entered FAS with Kamal. All right. And WM. Yeah, I like that one. What did you get it at? 114.03. Oh, come on now. All right. Holy smokes, what did I do? Okay, Evan. Kamal says, wow, lots of exits, Steve Burns. Yep. Frank is out of AMD. About break even. Johan is in DAL. CMG. Okay. And Johan sold half like I did. And we'll put a line right there so we know what day we did it, but we know why we did it, right? Selling half. Gary is in DAL. Okay. And OII. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Yes is out of AMD. I don't know if Brian's still in there. Haven't seen him in a bit. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take this here, put it on the back end here. No. There we go. And yes is out of the queues, leaving Johan and I with our half positions. Okay, oh yes, and critical feedback on CVX. Look, I can't see anything wrong about CVX here, Kamal. I really can't. Well, the only thing I can say, if like, I was nitpicking, if I really had to nitpick, was the rejection of the 5-day, and that's about it. But I mean, you have a V1, you have a false breakout to the downside, you have an under 30, over 30 rejection of the negative third ATR channel. To be honest with you, probably the main reason I didn't take this is because in an account that I manage, for someone, we bought Exxon, and so he bought Exxon. I don't want to put him in CVX as well, and I like his and my positions to match up just in the process of how I do my paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So that's really at the end of the day why I didn't take it. From a technical standpoint, it's really good. It's really good. Nothing that great on the weekly, other than it did close above last week's low, but you also see that here. That's this false breakout. But really just bookkeeping, because an account that I manage already has Exxon, and I wanted our positions to sync. So anyway, CVX goes up on Monday, more than likely Exxon for the person's account I manage. So that was kind of a sacrifice fly ball on my end. But yeah, I can't pick that apart. I mean, it's everything we look for. It's a V1, under 30, over 30, under the third, back over the third, and a false breakout downside. It's 4 indicators. It's really good. And FAS. Nothing wrong with FAS. I mean, it's a nice higher low V1 back in the value zone. Did MACD cross over? Yes, it did. MACD had a positive crossover, rejection of the -1 ATR channel, bullish engulfing bar, V1. It's a higher low, closed. Oh, well, okay, now that I see it, it did reject the 50 RSI, but I didn't actually see that before. But the reason I picked Goldman Sachs over was because I know the 520 does backtest well, and it's a 3 times leveraged. That's the reason. But I don't see any. The only issue I see now that I look at it a little bit more closely is that it already rejected the 50 RSI. Frank says, I remember September and October, a trader must be very sober. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm thrilled that Cody went up for everybody. That's all I can say. Cody is a champion of champions for Yas, Kamal, David, Johan, and Quad. It was up 2.11% today. That's massive. That is massive on a day like today. All right. Well, a little red today, which is unfortunate, but overall it was a decent week, everything considered. So I am grateful for that. So nice and green yesterday, so red today. But remember, everybody, this is what real trading is like right here. This February, March to September, just kind of one way up. I think a lot of new traders had a reality check on what real trading is like. It's not just buying and holding it, going up and going up every day. That was a very false market to me, artificial market. And, ever since September 2nd, things have changed. It was the day after Katie died. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but the day after she died is when it started to go down. So maybe Katie was more important to the market than we thought. Johan says, how do you place a stop on a fractal setup like Chewy? Well, there's the fractal way to do it, which is a little bit more complicated, but I just use the fractal as the entry point, and from here on out, I'll basically just manage this stop-wise how I would. If you heard me earlier, I just picked a stop that made sense to me, which would be a close below the 50 RSI. And if we close below the 50 RSI, we'll most likely lose these bands of support below us. But the reason I took that was because it did trigger a fractal, and it did have all these bands of support that are clustering right here. It was able to hold above them. So, I'll just have to see how this plays out on Monday, but I have a feeling this is going to go down more or go back up. And certainly if we lose the 50 RSI and all these moving averages, I'll go ahead and just get out. But it didn't make a higher high, but it did not make a lower low either. It was a higher low. So, but in a nutshell, if I lose these bands of moving averages below me as support, then this breakout would have failed and losing the 50 RSI. Kamal says, sounds good. Thank you, Greg. Have a great weekend. You are welcome, Kamal. Gary says, thanks, Greg. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. I'm excited. I don't get out very often. I'm kind of a homebody, but I am actually going to go to Salt Lake City tomorrow night and go to the comedy club. Adam Carolla is coming into town. And so I listen to his podcast. I think he's pretty funny. So I am going to go with my old girlfriend, as a matter of fact. We both like him, so we're going to go down there. It's the first time I think I've been like in a public building or really anything other than the store. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I really don't get out much. The thought of driving an hour to Salt Lake City, that would probably be like me telling you guys you had to drive to Mexico or something. So anyway, that will be different for me, but that'll be good. I guess I have to get out in society every once in a while and not just look at charts. Kamal says, party, Greg, enjoy. Yeah. I don't drink, so I probably won't be partying that much, but I do like to laugh. And so that'll be fun. I actually talked to Adam Carolla once about teaching his son. His son's pretty good with numbers and patterns and so forth. And so remember, he took my contact information and we talked about it. So when I see him, I'll be able to talk to him, and I'll have to remind him and invite his son to the podcast and maybe private lessons. Quad says, thanks, Greg. Update. I am in DAL. Okay, you are in DAL. Okay. All right, I've got Quad and DAL still in Chewy. Yep, I've got you here in Chewy. And of course, Cody, the champion. I'm so glad all of you were in this. I'm so glad it went up for you today. I really and truly am. Okay, well, listen, tough day today, but again, that's part of trading. You have to get used to taking losses. It doesn't always go straight up, but the most important part is how do you behave yourself when you have losses? It's pretty easy to be a good boy or a good girl and do what you're supposed to do when things are going up. But when things turn around and you go have losses, it brings out that evil side of you. It brings out not the best part of you, I've noticed in a lot of people. And, because the emotions come running in, and with heightened emotions, people start thinking with their reptilian brain, not their logical brain, right? So be aware if you go through drawdowns, and you are going to go down, you are going to have drawdowns. How you conduct yourself during those losses is probably one of the best indicators of what kind of long-term trader you're going to be. So, that's why I always say position size correctly, so that if you do have big, whacks to your head like we did today, you're not too emotionally destabilized and you don't do something dumb, right? I mean, that's really what it is. Kamal says, I am hearing a bunch of my relatives in Mumbai getting COVID. Oh, that's not good. Frank says, trading requires a good sense of humor. I would imagine Adam Carolla's kid has a pretty good sense of humor, I would imagine. I've actually heard him quite a few times. He is kind of funny. I think he's about 15. But I'll tell you what, wouldn't that be great to be able to learn some simple long-term trading approaches when you're 15? Holy smokes. Holy smokes. So anyway, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what he says. So, all right, as always, everybody, please go out, do something nice for somebody today, just a smile or a wave or hello or a nice gesture, hold the door open, just something nice. If we could all just do one nice thing every day, it would have a huge effect in the world. And who knows, maybe this little podcast can start the wave of that. And then also, please, please, please try to do something nice for an animal each day also. Just a smile, just a pet, take them for a walk, throw the ball, scratch them under the chin, just give them some attention. I just read an article that when you say I love you to a dog, their heartbeat increases by a certain amount. I just saw that. I can't remember. I didn't really read it. I just saw the headline. But who knows? I can believe it. Right? I can believe it. So, they have feelings and they get happy and sad as well. So let's try to do something nice for a human every day, something nice for an animal every day. And if you like today's podcast, if you could hit the thumbs up button before you click out of here, I would really appreciate that. And Dan says, Kamal, I'm sorry to hear about that. I will pray for their recovery. That's nice of you, Dan. Thank you very much. I will as well. Johan says, enjoy some jokes, Greg. All the best to your family, Kamal, and have an awesome weekend, everyone. Thank you, Johan. That's kind of you, sir. Appreciate that. So, again, thanks, everybody, for coming. Bummer we had a down day today, but that's part of it. And hope you have a good weekend. Be good. Be safe. And hopefully we will see you on Monday during the last hour of the market. Take care now. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.